Hello everyone, DarkCrush17 here, bringing to you my first discussion video. And today's video is going to be discussing, it's a Naruto discussion as you all know, and it is going to be Itachi Uchiha versus, where the fuck is this son of a bitch? Minato Namikaze, who is better overall in strength, speed, stamina, intelligence, etc., etc. I have been waiting to have this discussion, and I've already had this discussion with many people prior to this video, many times before with my friends in school, with my friends on Gommel Gaming, Get On My Level Gaming, on regular PSN discussions, and so on and so forth. And I can sure as hell tell you guys that I am definitely, and not because I am a fanboy, I mean, I really like Minato. I honestly do. But I think in every sense, Itachi takes the cake when it comes to being who is better out of the two. And now wait, before you guys say anything, let me explain why. Okay, in terms of intelligence, they are both, of course, very smart people because Minato has a Hokage level intelligence. In other words, he got to Hokage level based on some form of intelligence, right? He had to have been smart to got there. No idiot becomes Hokage. Wait, let me scratch that. Maybe Naruto's gonna become Hokage. If Naruto's gonna become Hokage, does that mean he's gonna be anyway, anyone before Naruto, if he ever becomes Hokage, which he probably will, seems to have some form of intelligence, a high level intelligence, when it comes to battle, when it comes to running a country, and so on and so forth. Now, Itachi Uchiha, on the other hand, has what I like to call a prodigious intelligence. Prodigious comes from the word prodigy. In other words, once in a lifetime type of intelligence. Now, granted, this is a little bit more special cased, but that doesn't deny the fact that Itachi has this type of intelligence. I mean, this guy was able to plan how everything was going to turn out. He had a backup for everything. He knew how to defeat almost, I think, everything. Yeah, because pretty much this guy was like, he says all jutsu have a weakness. And technically he's right, because every jutsu that we've been shown has to be able to be defeated. Even the Edo Tensei, the most undefeated jutsu out there, the hardest to defeat jutsu, Itachi managed to discontinue, or whatever you want to call it. So the fact that even Chibaku Tensei, a jutsu which the Nine Tails form, Naruto Nine Tails, Kyuubi form, or whatever, it was actually Six Tails, was not able to destroy. Itachi managed to compel or compilate some in form of intelligence to beat the Chibaku Tensei with Killer Bee and Naruto. Granted, it took up a lot of strength, but he still figured out how to beat it. Not saying Minato is dumb. Minato has some really cool ass techniques, and in terms of intelligence, is somewhat cool. And he's very smart. He always thinks ahead. Like when he fought, for example, Obito, Obito, at the time it was Masked Man, right? He managed to outsmart Obito. Granted, Obito does not seem like the smartest kind of guy on the planet, using chains to try to catch his master. But the fact that he managed, and let's all admit, Minato is one of my favorite characters in the show too. He is definitely in my top 5, hands down, maybe. Yeah. But in terms of intelligence, comparing both characters' intelligence, I feel Itachi's takes the cake because his intelligence has done more throughout the story. Probably because he had more screen time. But I feel Minato's, I'm not saying Minato's is bad. I'm just saying I feel Itachi's is better, and has done more, and has been more significant and more effective throughout the story than Minato's has. And this could be because of the lack of screen time Minato has had. But at the same time, it's a given. I'm sorry. But that's just the way it is. Itachi's intelligence in this story takes the cake, hands down, out of the two. Now, Overall, out of the two, I would say that they're close, but Itachi takes the cake by not quite a bit, but he definitely, like, they're close, but Itachi surpasses. Not by a little, but by enough. Let's say instead of being just one little edge up, Itachi has a couple more higher than Minato. Like I said, particularly because of the plans he had. He did not want Sasuke to find out. And if it hadn't been for Tobi or Tobito at the time, Sasuke would have never found out. Everything would have went to his plan, and he even had a plan B in case this failed, which was to use Shisui's Mangekyo Sharingan to erase Sasuke's memory of this and get him to be a good civilian and forget and protect the leaf at all costs, which was essentially Itachi's dying wish, right? Yeah. And Minato's, of course, he is intelligent. He managed to beat the fastest man, Raikage, but we'll get to that after when I discuss speed. He's defeated quite a few people. He deflected the Bijou-dama. He teleported the Bijou-dama. He had really good counters. Wasn't really able to save his village. I mean, was it really necessary to seal the Nine Tails inside yourself and your wife? Or would it have been necessary to seal this inside him and his wife died of childbirth? Couldn't he have just sealed it inside his wife and then his wife would have died instead of just killing himself and his wife, leaving the village with a less... I feel Minato's moves were a little bit more sloppy than Itachi's. But granted, Minato is very smart in his own way. But yeah, anyway, overall, I would say Itachi surpasses him slightly. And by a little bit. Second thing. Speed. Okay, this is a very, very important part of the discussion because a lot of people believe Minato Namikaze, and they say it in the show, is the fastest man in the whole manga, in the world of the manga, in the world of Naruto. I would have to disagree. I personally believe it's Raikage. I know what they mean when they say Minato is technically the fastest, but remember, guys, this is one problem I think people do not, this is one thing I believe people do not think about. Minato is not fast. He's not. He's not Raikage fast. He's a different kind of fast. He's a quick thinker, probably. That makes sense. But he's not a Raikage lightning speed type fast. He's a teleporting type fast. Remember, teleporting does not require any running. It does not require any constant form of movement. You know what I mean? It's just like whoop, whoop, pop, 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 right? And granted, Minato's seals, or whatever you want to call them, allows him to teleport in different directions, which makes us believe that he is faster. Because obviously he can teleport in back of Raikage and back of Killer Bee and all that. That's how he beat the Killer Bee, and that's how he beat this, and that's how he managed to and attack these people, and so on and so forth. But remember, Minato needs a seal to be able to teleport to these places, and the seal is located on his kunai, or he can, if he not a seal, but like a symbol, or I forget what it's called now, his mark. He has to mark someone or something in order to be able to teleport to that spot. So if he's not fast enough to throw a kunai, he could be technically fucked. The reason I believe Raikage was lost to Minato is because Minato threw the kunai everywhere. And the fact that he can teleport in different directions, once he does that, it's kind of hard to predict where Minato is going to be next. This does not mean that, generally speaking, Minato is the fastest guy on Earth. Granted, you can't really catch him because it's a teleporter, but if you really think about it, Minato could be stopped. He almost did by Masked Man. He had Obito had a good idea on how to stop him, but I'm pretty sure someone like Pain using Bansho Tein can stop Minato from teleporting anywhere he wanted. You know what I mean? I don't see it as... It's fast, but it's not the kind of fast people expect. It's not speed, it's teleporting. There's a big difference. Now, In terms of jutsu casting and so on and so forth, I would assume that this guy is fast, and there have been scenes in which we saw like the flying Raijin and so on and so forth. But at the same time, teleporting, not necessarily speed. Is he able to create quick hand signals? Most likely. But overall, is he fast? It all depends. Like, it depends how you look at it. Personally, yes, but let's go to Itachi. Itachi is a super quick guy. Now, the reason, like the way we were shown this was because, as we know, Itachi does not necessarily have to do hand signals to be able to cast a jutsu, because he does them so fast that we don't see them. So, like, that is fucking fast if we can't see them. You know what I mean? And, I mean, it's not teleporting fast, but it's fucking fast. You know what I mean? So if he can make quick hand signals, on top of his Sharingan, he can get to you in a matter of seconds. Just cast you under a small genjutsu, just a small genjutsu, just to like confuse you for 2 seconds, and in the next 2 seconds you're finished. He can remember, Itachi, all he has to do is look at you, or point at you, or you can look at his foot, or his knee, or his finger, and he can cast a genjutsu on you. So that's pretty freaking OP, if you ask me. How is Minato going to be able to handle something like that? Now, there's a lot of fanboyism out there that say, oh, Minato's the fastest, therefore he beats everyone. Guys, open your eyes. Like I said, Minato is fast, but in terms of beating Itachi, in terms of being better than Itachi, no. Speed-wise, I would say that Minato is slightly faster than Itachi, but the only difference between them is the teleporting factor. I'm pretty sure Itachi could come up with a way to, in a sense, make himself be able to teleport without the use of actual seals and stuff, or actual markings, because all he has to do is use Sharingan to create an illusion and make him appear in several different locations at once. So doesn't that actually beat the fact of teleporting? In terms of overall speed at this point, I'm going to say that Minato does take the cake. However, Itachi is really not far behind in this case. He's literally like one small notch down. Alright, next thing. Abilities. Minato has the Rasengan, the Flying Raijin, the teleportation things, and so on and so forth. Nothing too fancy. His jutsu range, based on what we see, is pretty limited. I mean, I'm pretty sure he has the substitution jutsu and so on and so forth. But is he really better than Itachi? Granted, his Rasengan is pretty OP. He is the founder of this jutsu. He was not able to master it like Naruto did, so we can expect a limitation there. Now, let's look at Itachi. Itachi has to his disposal Genjutsu, the Sharingan, which is already OP in its sense, the Mangekyo Sharingan, which can call forth Susanoo. And at his Susanoo's disposal, he has the Yara Mirror, which deflects any attack, and the Totsuka Blade, which seals anyone without fail. In this case, I believe, just by stating the amount of abilities Itachi has compared to Minato, I believe Itachi could, in a sense, based on their intelligence level, based on their speed, I'm pretty sure Itachi could overpower Minato in terms of abilities. I mean, I'm not saying Minato wouldn't be much of a fight. I'm just saying Itachi probably would be able to beat Minato hands down in any case, in any situation versus Minato. I mean, just Susanoo, man. Like, Flying Raijin, Rasengan, nothing will work on the Yara Mirror. Tsukuyomi, if he gets you in that, finished. And remember, all he needs is a finger. So, what can Minato do? I don't know. unless he manages to seriously mark Itachi, which I believe is going to be hard, especially if Itachi uses his genjutsu. I believe Minato would never be able to touch him in terms of markings. So, yeah. I think Itachi, hands down, wins this part of the battle in terms of abilities. Stamina-wise, I'm pretty sure they can be the same, unless you factor in Itachi's illness, which he was holding back versus Sasuke. If you eliminate Itachi's illness, Itachi will definitely probably have the same stamina, if not more, than Minato. And Minato's stamina obviously is going to be high because Hokage level, and you are expected to have a high stamina, a high capability of being able to attack, to fight, and so on and so forth. But that being said, Minato did die pretty easily, but at the same time, it wasn't kind of like an insta-kill jutsu. You know what I mean? The fact that he received a giant nail through his chest. So I would say that in this case, stamina-wise, these two are even. This is, of course, factoring in that Itachi does not have his illness hindering him. And finally, strength-wise, overall strength. Guys, the problem with this is, depending on who gets the first hit, I believe that person will become the victor. However, who the heck? Okay. However, sorry. I think that Itachi would be able to prevail even in this particular situation, because, like I said, if Minato manages to get the first teleporting move, in other words, if he manages to mark Itachi, Itachi probably has a chance of losing. However, because Itachi has such a powerful genjutsu at his disposal, not only the Mangekyo but the Sharingan itself, or not only the Sharingan but the Mangekyo itself, I believe that Minato wouldn't be able to get near Itachi. All he can do is basically try to teleport around. But remember, the Sharingan has a radius that is unlike the Byakugan, which has a blind spot. The Sharingan can see all around up until a certain radius, you know. But he'll be able to predict something coming at him. For example, a Shuriken, Minato with a Rasengan, before it even touches him. Catch my drift? Now, if, however, Minato manages to get a Rasengan on Itachi, that will be deadly, because a Rasengan is an OP move, and it will probably either take him out in 1 or in 2 hits. But that goes to show that, but that being said, if he manages to get 1 hit on Itachi with the Rasengan, and Itachi survives, highly doubt he's going to be able to do it again. Highly doubt it. But like I said, if all else fails with Itachi, there's always Susanoo. And Susanoo's sword has a massive range. So if Minato tries to teleport around, it'll be kind of hard. And then, of course, there's always Amaterasu Itachi has. Which, in a case, he could, if Itachi manages to predict where Minato is going to teleport from, I mean, if Minato is fast enough to be able to spread his shuriken out, then maybe he'll be able to outmaneuver Itachi. But if Itachi manages to destroy his markings, and his shuriken, I believe Minato's just about finished. Which I'm pretty sure he can easily do with Amaterasu, considering Amaterasu burns anything other than Amaterasu. Okay? Like I said, in this case, Itachi would take the case. They are both, like I said, very smart people. You just have to remember that I feel like Itachi, overall, he's more intelligent. Granted, he may not be as fast, teleporting-wise, but he doesn't have to be fast to beat Minato. Speed isn't everything. He can just predict or use genjutsu or whatever to be able to beat him. beat Minato. Minato doesn't really have much at his disposal other than his Rasengan, Flying Raijin, or Raiten, or whatever the hell it's called, at his disposal. So I don't believe that overall Minato is better. Now, that being said, if you guys believe that Itachi is not better than Minato, by all means, give me your opinion in the comments below, because that's the whole point of this video, is to bring out a discussion between us. And I'm not saying this like, I am an Itachi fanboy. Itachi is definitely my favorite character, but when I have a discussion, I do my very best to prove why I believe my character is better, or why I believe a certain character is better than another, or why I believe blah 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 blah. I'm not gonna just say, oh, Itachi is better because, you know, he's cool, and Minato is good. Like, Minato sucks because he died early, and like that's not a good reason. You have to have. Remember, when you're arguing with me, do not bother to argue, please. If you are going to tell me something like that, please do not waste mine or other people's times with a comment like that. Please, if you're going to do that, go watch For Neverworld's videos, or go comment on someone who probably will ignore your comment, or who likes the comments that are useless like that. I don't appreciate useless comments like that. If you're going to comment, make it decent. If you're going to not comment, but if you're going to comment on the discussion, comment on the comparison, please make it detailed. Analyze it as best as you can, and please, if you come up with an answer, I'll do my best to counter it. I probably will be able to find a counter, because I don't see a way where Minato could beat Itachi in any case of a battle. And remember, Minato is one of my favorites. Itachi is my favorite, granted, but I'm not fanboying or drooling while I'm reviewing this. I am trying to be as fair and as honest as possible when doing the comparison between these two characters. So like I said, overall, Itachi Uchiha wins. That's about it, guys. I hope you enjoyed the discussion. I hope you guys are going to give me good feedback on what you think about this discussion. By all means, I can't wait to hear what you guys have to say. Please leave a like when you it helps me a lot. It gives me a good chance of how many people are actually watching my videos, and like really watching my videos. And finally, who or what do you think that we should discuss next? Give me some ideas. I have an idea in mind, but I'm not 100% sure yet. I'm still contemplating it. And now that One Piece and Naruto are probably going to be... Naruto is supposed to be on break, but apparently it's not. I will have chances to do more discussion videos, considering I'm only going to be reviewing Bleach and Attack on Titan. Attack on Titan, seeing as it only comes out once a month, it won't be that hard to get around. So that's about it, guys. Please give me a subject that you would like for example, Lee versus Neji, or whatever. Or it could be like who's a better Hokage, the first or the second, or whatever. It doesn't matter. It could be anything, anything. And if I find it plausible or reasonable or important or like good enough to be able to discuss, I will consider it, and I just might make a discussion video on it. And that's about it, guys. Have yourselves a great rest of the week. Like I mentioned in my previous video, happy Thanksgiving to my American friends. Enjoy your vacations. Have yourself a great week, rest of the week, and I'll see you guys next week. And remember, guys, remember, Itachi, numero uno, always. Have yourselves a good one, guys. Take care. Enjoy. Ciao.